Manager. This is just a submission of proposal. This is not an actual appointment. It's just getting us information about the person, the rates, what we are going to do, and based on that, the decision will be made. This is not an appointment. So I'll make a motion. I motion. Second. I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Ooh, Teresa voted no.
Sure. Teresa, let me stop you right there. We are not right now appointing anybody. We are getting a proposal. We have to study what we get, what the person is, what the rates are, what the benefits are. We get the proposal. We, as three of us, will go into the executive session. We'll put down the pros and cons. What are the pros? What are the cons? What are the benefits? What are going to be the pros and cons? And based on that, then we'll make a decision. This is requesting RFP from them.
So at this point in time, we're going to have you're talking about an RFP will be submitted to the public for anybody who wants to apply for even the interim position can do so, correct?
If you want to open it for a larger audience, I'm okay with that.
I would like to open it to a large audience and let anyone in public who wants to serve as an interim township manager for West Whiteland to apply for the position.
But what's her angle?
Brian, are you okay with that? No, I'm not. I mean, it's.
This is a democracy.
No, and it is. Teresa, so I'm trying to find out. There's no harm in getting more than one RFP. Yeah, all right. I guess, right? I mean, there's no harm in getting more than one. I guess you're right. Okay, it's fine.
Thank you. Okay, so I would like the motion to be submit, to put together an RFP for a proposal for appointment to interim township manager.
Okay. There's comment from public. You want to come and state your name and
My name's Joe Altomari. I reside at 334 Bristol Circle, Exeter, Pennsylvania. I have a question. What happened to the previously employed manager? Manager.
At this time, the solicitors are talking. When they're done talking, we'll make a statement and we'll release what the press statement would be.
How was this action taken? By a group, by the supervisors, by one person, by
the action
all
would
officials?
The action would be in tonight's meeting. Who is going to be appointed as a manager? So it's done by majority vote, and we did not have the votes to reappoint the old manager.
No, but that's not what I asked. How was the release of this person conducted? Under whose authority and why?
So with the majority of the board. Please do not speak out of turn. You want to speak, you can come up here and you can state that. So,
There's another microphone right there.
And this action is not yet official as of today. If you want to understand that, it is not action as of today. As of today evening, officially, still Mimi Gleason was the township supervisor manager. Today is the decision when it changes. So if you want to understand the technical terms, if we have a lawyer, if we want to have
You don't have a lawyer, you're fired.
Yeah, okay. We'll appoint that and we'll ask him that question.
So you're not willing to answer the question now?
Not right now. No.
I'll answer it. It was a unilateral decision made by the chair of the board. Nobody was informed. The sitting supervisors last met December 8th, 2021. We had an executive session and a public meeting between December 8th, 2021 and December 29th, 2021. There were no executive meetings or public meetings. On December 29th, 2021, the chair of the Board of Supervisors unilaterally walked into the building and fired the township manager, telling her that it would be effective today.
No,
Yes,
you do not know that.
I was informed
That is
on
not how it went
Tuesday in a
down.
diner that this would go on.
Okay. This is not what,
It was in violation of the township, second-class township code.
Oh, Teresa, you're
let me
such an
tell you one
expert.
thing.
Is that why you were having
It
secret
wasn't
meetings
that
today?
way, done that way. I cannot discuss with a sitting supervisor anything outside. It is violation of my sunshine
Should have called
law.
an executive session.
So I spoke with the incoming supervisor, what his thoughts about reappointing are. And we were in unison about not appointing. We asked him to talk to Teresa. He spoke to Teresa. Teresa agreed to this. And that's when I conveyed this message to Mimi that Monday night I would not have the votes to reappoint you. It would have been cruel to do that with her sitting here right now and telling her you're not going to be reappointed. That this was not the way I wanted to handle it. So I personally went in and told her, we do not have the votes on Monday evening to reappoint you. That was the oral communication.
I guess my question is, did she do anything untoward? Did she not handle her responsibilities properly? Because my personal experience with Mimi when I was on the planning committee, she was well organized, on top of everything, had everything at her fingertips, went way and above what I thought was her responsibility.
That's your opinion.
Well, my opinion, as a member of this township, counts for as much as yours.
Thank you.
That's not a throne. That's a supervisor's
I understand.
chair that you were elected to by us.
I understand that.
It's still a democracy. It's not
Yes,
a throne.
it's still a democracy.
That chair is
And
as important as this chair, with all due respect.
yeah, and that's why I'm saying.
Who's the guy
we
speaking?
Decided, we talked among ourselves, and that's how the decision was taken.
Outside.
That there's no public forum on this, and that you're not willing to discuss it.
We will discuss it after the lawyers are done talking.
I just find it reprehensible that it's done that way.
Yeah,
I go on record that way.
yeah, thank you.
And I'll be here at every township meeting from now until ad infinitum until I get what I consider to be
Sure.
a suitable answer.
Definitely. Please.
Yes, Tim Hubbard here at 697 Stonegate Court would like to make a statement.
Just a minute. We have one candidate here on, in the meeting building. Then you can
Thanks.
go. That's okay?
Yep.
Thanks. Push the button.
Now,
Yeah.
green for go. My name is Jenny Marcel Kurzweig. I live at 103 Showen Road in Exton. First off, I want to say, well, no one likes to see somebody lose a job. I do commend the Board of Supervisors for taking this move. I feel very strongly that our local government is there to put the interests of the residents first. And I think I speak for many when I say that some of us feel that that has not always happened. And I also believe that the township government should answer to the voters, and they should make decisions and be the one to decide how the township acts. Having said that, I have one question about the discussion that happened just now about appointing an interim. I have a concern that in the meantime, we don't have anybody as township manager, and I recognize that this is a part-time position. So can you maybe speak to what the plan had been, and if you move forward with this extended RFP or discussion about, is there some kind of timeline on this?
Okay, that's a good question. And after we do this 2 RFPs, we have a proposal for the interim place to put in a current township employee in place as an interim manager, and then to complete the RFP. And based on the RFP, make those decisions.
So until this interim person is put in, we don't have a township
No,
manager?
we will have it. In this meeting, we will do that. We'll take care of that.
Okay, thank you.
In this meeting, we'll take care of that. We are not going to leave the township without a township manager.
Thank you.
Yes, I see a couple of hands that were raised. The gentleman that was speaking.
Yes, Tim Hubbard, 697 Stonegate Court.
Yes, Tim,
Can you hear me?
go ahead.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
we can.
So I just would like to make a couple points here, and I will be as brief as I can, as I'm sure there's others that want to. One, I tend to agree with both what Ginny said and with what Mr. Altamari said. I am concerned about how this has happened. It does not seem like it has followed what would be an appropriate protocol. You said you spoke with the incoming township supervisor, and that just seems inappropriate. I guess I'm wondering if the township manager had any sort of contract in place, and if so, if the terms of that contract have been followed in this process, as well as, the other concern that I have, that I think is very important for the entire township to start realizing, is I was very excited about tonight's meeting at first, and then as I started doing a little research, I got a lot less excited. I saw that on the agenda, we're yet making another change to township solicitor. We'll be on our 3rd one in so many years now.
It's not so unusual.
Compo to the prior one. Now we're making another change, and I'm very concerned with the firm that you're bringing in, the Sean Kilkenny law firm. They've been involved in various federal investigations. They've been involved in federal civil rights lawsuits, and they've been involved in some very suspicious activities in other municipalities that they've both represented, either as township solicitor and or in other capacities. And we're bringing them into West Whiteland to give us legal advice after they've been involved in federal civil rights lawsuits where a candidate tried to run for a Democratic mayor in another town, and that town actually began enforcement action against that person because they didn't have the Democratic committee's permission to run. And the law firm acted in capacity to try and basically take action upon them because of that. They were involved in the pay-to-play scandal in Allentown. They were involved in some very suspicious activity with some redevelopment in the No. And I would like to ask the township supervisor.
Hold on. This is a public meeting. If you're going to make acquisitions of these kind, I'll have to have...
It's Google. It's news articles that I found on Google in 15 minutes worth of research. I should hope that you guys did and were aware of it.
We did this extensive search of this firm last year.
When did this extensive search happen? Was there an RFP put out for it?
We had an RFP done last year for our solicitors. We had this firm intensively verified. We had this firm through all the companies you could find out with. We had.
Why weren't they doing it last year then, Raj?
Why are they coming now? We had, Tim, let me finish. We had our police chief run a background check on it. We have never done any police background check for any attorneys. And it was done for this specific attorney. And there was nothing that we could find. So if you...
Did you do a Google search and find the news articles about them?
Oh my God.
Yes or no? It took me less than 15 minutes to find those
We
three articles.
did an extensive search of this.
That wasn't what I asked. Are you aware of those three incidents that I talked about that I found within 15 minutes on Google?
We also
Because I would like to
spoke-
know, I would like a public statement from each member of the Board of Supervisors. If you personally and/or your campaign have ever received any campaign funds for your election or re-election from the Kilkenny law firm, and if so, I would like you to recuse yourselves from appointing them as township solicitor, because even though it may be permitted, it's not appropriate.
Mr. Hubbard, I could answer your question. I ran my campaign on $1,700, mostly from family, from my mother, who is now deceased, and my son, and a few $10 things from a few close friends. I don't owe anybody or any organization my vote in any way, because mostly my campaign was run on shoe leather, gumption, and $1,700. And you can go to the voter services in Chester County, and you can verify that. I can tell you, I've done some research also. The chair, he ran a joint campaign, but there is a donation to West Whiteland Democrats in 2019 from the Kilkenny law firm, and Mr. Dunn took at least $400 dinner from Mr. Kilkenny. I cannot say what else because the rest of his finance report just says Act Blue. So he didn't put down who the donor was, just that the money came through the Act Blue account.
Oh, so now you're trying to say he's a bad guy because he's a threat to
How
you.
much, you asked me how much did I receive? You should also ask how much I have donated to his sheriff campaigns, his charity organizations, and everything.
No, I shouldn't. I don't care about the charity organizations.
We donate to people whom we trust. We donate to people whom we support.
You're bringing them in to give them taxpayer money after they've donated to your campaign. That's not appropriate.
So I'll show you why they are appointing them.
My taxpayer funds, the fund West Whiteland, are now being paid to that firm. It's not appropriate.
Tim, his rates are the lowest for any solicitor. We are paying $265 an hour right now. His rate is $165. That's $100 cheaper than any other lawyer.
Suddenly you're bringing this firm in from outside the county that only represents one other municipality and a water resources authority, as far as I can find, in Chester County. It's just not appropriate. And I was so excited that we were actually turning a page in West Whiteland. And here you are, along with my concern is that the new supervisor, and now we're heading right down the same old track, except we're taking 2 steps back. That's all I have to say. I think it's important that the citizens know that.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, and for any other folks who want to raise anything, please do not repeat yourself. If you have something new to add, please say.
Who's next, Pam?
There's Anita Nardone
Okay.
and James, they have their hands up.
James.
I can see them both.
Good evening. My name is Anita Nardone. I reside at 309 Green Circle, and I am a resident of West Whiteland for the past 25 years. First, I would like to extend a sincere thank you to every member of this call, on this call, and in the chambers who have served West Whiteland Township. Sincerely from my heart. West Whiteland has been an amazing place for my husband and I to raise our 3 children. Here we have found community, the beauty of Chester County, convenience to shopping, transit, and neighbors who seem to, like us, value and respect our home and our neighbors. In 2015, after attending several meetings of the Lincoln Highway Corridor Study and meeting John Weller, I was recruited to serve on the Act 209 Traffic Impact Fee Advisory Committee. My interest in this area due primarily to my job as a professional civil engineer involved in land development. It was here that my appreciation of the municipal process grew. I watched very committed township staff interact with knowledgeable